Guys, I have been saying yo and clapping my hands in disbelief this entire morning. This entire morning. I don't know if you guys have heard of Rug Talk, but you're just about to learn because I'm gonna tell you. I went and watched a 25-part series on what's in the rug just so you don't have to go watch it. So, what happens is this young lady over here, Miss Katie, okay? Miss Katie does a TikTok because she thinks that her house is haunted. She wakes up one morning in her little home office. Her things have been moved around, her laptop's been broken, etc., etc. Now, fast forward, her and her husband go into the backyard to do a little bit of digging because they want to build, right? So they remove a tree, they excavate a tree, dig a tree up, only to hit a rug 2 feet deep, a carpet, underground. Now, if you watch a whole lot of true crime, NCIS, NYPD, wada, all these crime things, like me, first thing you think is, oh Lord, it's a crime scene. That's what makes Katie thinks too. So Katie puts it all on the talk for us. The people are like, yo, you have to dig. You have to dig. So they go about digging, but they can't dig that deep because it's like that deeply entrenched, right? They're not sure how long it is, they're not sure how deep it is, but it's just that how it's been there that long that it's cemented itself in the situation. They're gonna need an excavator to get it out, right? So, nosy people like us tell her to call the popo. She calls the popo in her little home country and her little hometown rather in Columbus, Ohio. She calls the police. Two officers come out. They look around and they're also just as curious and they just like, yeah, no, this is gonna like need to be excavated, and all and such and such. They call their supervisor and their supervisor says, we're not gonna waste our resources on that. For all we know, it's just a rug. So unless there's more reason or more cause, then we'll move forward with an investigation. But as it is, it's just a rug underground. Call me paranoid. Call me paranoid. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? Fast forward. A psychic follows the story. I mean, this thing explodes, right? This thing explodes. People magazine comes out, take pictures, yada yada yada. News outlets coming out, yada yada yada. So the psychic also gets wind of this, and she says, "You know what, Katie? I got you, girl. I'm gonna do a reading just so I can check out if there is possibly anything unsavory that is attached to this rug." Cool. In the meantime, our dear girl Katie goes ahead and does a little bit of research and finds out that this house belonged to one family and only one family has lived in this house. It doesn't look like it was a rental at any point. It doesn't look like it was an Airbnb at any point. So the family that she bought it from was the family that's lived in this house since it was built eons ago, right? So she calls up the listing agent and says, yo, I have this issue. This is what happens. And I'm a little bit miffed. Like I'm a bit, puzzled as to what's going on. The agent says, fear not, Katie. I got you. The girl who used to live there as a little girl, she's my friend. Her parents who sold you the house, my friend. Let me give her a call. She calls the girl. Hey, chums. Hey, chumpity chomp chomp. Hey, friend. So this is what's happening. Blah, 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 blah. The girl says, well, I don't remember anything sinister happening. I don't remember any rug being buried or anything. They go on to ask her, like, did you maybe guys have pets that you could have buried in your backyard with this? And she's like, I mean, we did have pets, but I remember all the pets that went on to glory to have been cremated. So, but I don't remember one being buried in a rug. But I'll ask my parents. This is happening. She's at work. So she's like, later on in the evening, call my parents at the old age home or visit them or whatever and find out what's happening. While all of this is happening, Katie gets a call from, is it NCIS? Is it, I don't know, but some letter agency, okay? Some government letter agency. And they say, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring out cadaver dogs. What's a cadaver dog, you ask me? Well, I'm going to tell you, sweet child. A cadaver dog are those dogs that go ahead and sniffity sniff sniff everywhere to find unalived bodies. Same concept as the ones that sniff for illegal substances, right? So they come through to her house with two of these dogs. I guess, checks and balances. One has to check the other one out. They bring the first dog over. The dog sniffs, 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 and sits on a particular spot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, that means they sniffed blood in that spot. Okay, they remove that dog, bring in the second dog. Same thing. Sits. Same spot. So there's definitely blood on this carpet / rug in this here ground. But now the trick is, or the question is, whose blood is it? Or what? Because we really don't know. They could have been slaughtering a chicken for a ritual and stained the rug and decided to throw it out. Who knows? A child could have been running, fell, scraped their knee, has hemophilia, so bled out quite a lot, and ruined the rug and they threw it out. It could be any number of possibilities. So now, the whole thing, the investigation is still ongoing. The preliminary investigation is going on. As I talk to you now, we are waiting for Miss Katie to update us about what forensics will say or do when they get there. Because forensics now has to go through and check out the scene and do the tests and. I'm going to continue to be nosy on your behalf. And I'm going to update you as often as I can with what's going on in Miss Katie's house. But I am just shook. Oh, and here's my favorite part about this whole thing. All Katie wants is to have her own episode of true crime. She just wants to be on true crime. Forget that her house is now a potential crime scene. She just wants to be on true crime. Wild. Because now I'm also thinking maybe her stuff was moved because they disturbed the resting place of this entity. And that's why things were being shookity shook.